Now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That's the go-getter energy that moves anyone out there, especially yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. We put all this together in one bundle, one package, one mindset, one method, one philosophy, one book, one show, this masterclass right here that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. You are the perfect person to be here right now because today's topic is you are in show business. If you didn't know you were in show business, now you know you are in show business. All right, whatever you're doing, you are in show business. Today's topic is about how you perform and put yourself out there in such a way that people not only get what they need, but they also get what they want. And this goes hand in hand with masterclass number 1498. The topic is how to be a star in the performing arts. So this class is specifically for those of you who have to perform at work, whether that means you're an athlete, a speaker, a dancer, an actor, a salesperson. If you own a brand to which you are the face of that brand and people know you for that brand. If you're an online influencer, anyone whose work is consistently viewed by the people whose choices determine your success or failure, which is damn near everybody, you got to learn how to put on a show. All right, people love to be entertained. It's great to educate them. It's great to inform them. But people love the entertainment of the show. Doesn't mean you got to become a court gesture or some form of clown to get your point across or to do what I'm going to talk about here today. But you must learn how to utilize the show in show business. So I'm going to give you 3 specific shows that you're going to have to make when it comes to being in show business. All right, and this is probably an angle that you weren't expecting, but you're going to get it by the time we get into this. So again, the topic is you are in show business. Point number 1, what does that mean? You must show up. That's the first thing you got to do. This is show business. You got to show up. You cannot do your job and you cannot serve your business or have your business serve you if you are not present when it matters, doing the things that need to be done. Be where it is at. We talked about this a couple days ago. You got to be where things are going on. If your business is being online and being an influencer, you got to be online and influence people. You got to be out there talking about what you talk about. You tell people you're showing up and you're going to deliver something. You got to show up and you got to deliver it. If you position yourself as someone who talks about current events, when a current event happens, there's always a current event. You got to talk about it. You position yourself as someone who you're a commentator on basketball and there was a big basketball game. You got to talk about that basketball game. Whatever it is you tell your audience you got to show up and deliver. When I tell you this show comes out every day, the show got to come out every single day. When I tell you that my topics are discipline, confidence, mental toughness, personal initiative, I'm always going to give you something on one of those aspects every single episode of the show. Right now, I'm talking about discipline, showing up every single day to do the work. Y'all heard me say that so many times, you could probably recite it to me. You cannot do your job if you are not there to actually do it. Find out where things are going down, or decide, if you're creating a platform yourself, where things are going down, and make it your business to always be there. Because again, as we talked about yesterday, when your audience knows what they can expect from you and they come to depend on you and trust you for being there and doing it, all right, they'll pay for that. As long as they know that it's going to be consistent and as long as you deliver on your promises. You say it's going to be that way and you fulfill that, then people are going to say, okay, this person's actually about what they said they're about, which is a rarity in life. And now they're going to sign up and they're going to stick around. They're going to sign up and they're going to show up. So find out where it goes down or choose where it goes down and be there. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, showing up is an investment. Sometimes you got to make an investment just to show up. For example, because showing up isn't always you having a platform. Showing up might be you going to where the platform already exists just so you can get yourself seen because nobody knows who the hell you are. In sports, for example, you have these things called exposure events. In basketball, they have exposure camps where players pay their own way and pay your own money as a fee just to go to this event because you know that's a place where you can get seen and known as a basketball player, which can make you money on the back end if you do your thing on that court. In the acting world, for example, there are auditions, and to go to an audition, you might not have to pay for appearing at the audition, but you might have to miss a shift at work. You might have to pay for your own flight. You might have to hire a babysitter just so you can go get to that audition. And then there's the money that you don't make with the opportunity cost of you showing up where that thing is at. In the business world, you might have to rearrange your schedule to go to a conference. You might have to invest in hiring a coach who knows exactly what you need to do so you can start showing up the right way in your business. So the show up part of show business means you just got to be where it's at. and understand that being where it's at is usually some form of investment that you need to make. Actually, there's always an investment, because the most basic investment is what we call the opportunity cost. You don't know what that is. Opportunity cost is everything that you don't do when you choose to do one thing. So right now I'm at home and I'm recording the Work on Your Game show. The opportunity cost is that I'm not outside. The opportunity cost is that I'm not at the pool. I'm not driving in my car. I'm not going to the store. I'm not at a restaurant. I'm not walking around the neighborhood. I'm not in the gym. I'm not sleeping. Those are all the opportunity costs of the investment that I'm making, and making sure I'm delivering to you every single day by recording this masterclass right now. So opportunity cost is everything that you're not doing when you make a decision to do one thing. You're making a decision to cut off everything else, every decision that you make. So your cost is everything else. And sometimes showing up will cost you, and that not just an opportunity cost that always exists, but it may cost you in that you may pay your own way to go to maybe you go to a job interview and it's across the country. You got to pay for the flight, and you got to pay for your hotel. Or maybe you're an athlete, you go to an exposure event. You might have to pay just to be at the event. You got to pay to get there. You got to pay for your hotel. You got to pay for your food while you're there. These are all investments that you can make. You might pay to go to, maybe you take an internship somewhere and it's an unpaid internship, and you got to pay for your food. You got to pay for your lodging. You got to pay for everything you do while you're there, because there's no revenue. There's no income from you actually doing it. But in the long run, it may be worth it. So these are calculated decisions that you have to make about which investments are worth it for you to show up somewhere, because you believe you can get something on the back end. And they don't always come with a guarantee. Often they don't come with any guarantee at all. But if you're good enough, then you create the guarantee based on your willingness and ability to continually show up. Point number 2. Today's topic is you are in show business. Point number 2, show and prove. You see how this is going? This is the second thing you got to do, because we're in business after all, right? Nobody pays you for believing. This is a performance-based business, and it is a results-based business. So nobody will pay you because you believe in something or that you have a whole lot of self-confidence. Those things are great. You're going to need them to deliver, but unless you deliver, it doesn't matter that you have confidence. It doesn't matter that you believe. People will pay for proof that what you offer can help them out. I remember when I went to an exposure event playing basketball, trying to become a professional athlete. I had to pay my own money to pay for the camp fee. I had to pay for my travel to get to where the camp was, because it wasn't in my backyard. I had to pay for a hotel. I had to pay for my food while I was there. And I wasn't making money from my regular job while I was at this camp, because I was off doing this thing. It was a big investment for me at that time based on where I was at in my life. But going there, I was able to prove that I could do my thing on that court at a professional level. And then after that, I was able to get paid. But had I not proven it out there on that court, all of that investment that I made to get to the exposure camp and to be a part of the exposure camp would not have mattered. That would have been a sunk cost. It went in, but nothing came back out. It became an investment because it went in, but more came out on the back end because, key thing, because I proved myself when I got my chance to perform. Understand that just because you make an investment and just because you believe and just because you showed up does not mean you're going to get you're going to get a return on investment. You only get the return when you actually prove that you have the game. You actually prove that somebody else should make an investment in you. So that proving part is the crux of the whole situation. The proving part determines whether your investment is a sunk expenditure or it's an investment that's going to produce a return. It becomes a story or it becomes a statistic. Are you going to be another person who showed up, didn't do anything, and it was just useless for them? Or are you going to become a story where you can tell people, hey, I made this investment and it was tough for me to make the investment, but because I proved it and I delivered and I performed and I produced results, I was able to get a return on investment on it. So then maybe that can inspire somebody else to do the exact same thing. Story or statistic. We talk about this in the chapter in my book, Work on Your Game, which if you have not read, you can acquire that book at workonyourgamebook.com. In the coaching and consulting industry, you often see free sessions or free consultations given out, right? And why do they give those out? Why do coaches and consultants give free consultations? Because the expert wants to prove that they can help you. So in the life coaching industry, maybe in therapy, lawyers, a Facebook ad expert, a doctor, many of them will do this. They will offer a free consultation just to get you in the door because you become a lead for their business. You're a prospect, somebody who might buy from them. And when they deliver and they can prove proof, then they get a client. Now they're making money. Now they can deliver. Hopefully you become repeat business for them. You bring them some referrals, and this is just them doing their business. There's a linear relationship, ladies and gentlemen, between proof and business. A linear relationship between the amount of proof you can produce and the amount of business you will enjoy. The more often and the more clearly you prove what you can do, the more business you will have. Let me say that again. This is the linear relationship between proof and business. When I say business, what I mean is exchanges. Like we talked about a few days ago, what you need to have it, what every business needs, you need that exchange. You need customers, you need clients, you need people who are paying. So when I say business, that's what I'm talking about. You have new business, and that's the exchange. The linear relationship between proof and business is the more often and the more clearly you can prove your ability to perform and produce results, the more business you will generate. Point number 3. Today's topic is you are in show business. Third thing you got to do. Now, first thing you showed up, next thing you showed improved. Now you got to put on a show. This keeps people engaged. This keeps people paying attention. Understand that people want to be entertained. People pay a lot of money for entertainment. All right, you know how much money the entertainment business, how much money a TV talk show host makes compared to a school teacher? Even though many people say, well, the school teacher is more important. Well, why do people spend more money on entertainment? Because people rather be entertained than educated. But even if you're in the education industry, you can still make it entertaining if you learn how to put on a show in your own way. So make a spectacle of yourself. Make a spectacle of what you do. And when I say make a spectacle, what I mean is have a distinctive style that makes you stand out from other people, that makes you stand out from anyone else who may be trying to do what you do. Make yourself memorable. Do something that makes you the person that everybody is talking about. Pull on people's emotional strings. Emotions make you memorable. People remember emotions much more than they remember facts and information. Stand out in a unique way such that you cannot be confused with or lumped in with anyone other than yourself. Learn how to make people laugh, make people cry, make people angry, make people eager. Something that moves people. Learn how to touch people's emotions on some level in some way with what you do. They will remember you for that. People do not remember information. People do not remember facts. People do not remember logic, but they do remember emotion. When they remember emotion, then they'll remember the facts that came with it. Now, that's the way you can get people to remember facts and information, is tie it somehow to an emotion. Again, laughing, crying, it could even be anger, frustration, eagerness. I remember I once saw Beyonce perform at a concert, and I didn't even know all Beyonce's songs at the time when I still don't know all her songs. But when I went to this concert, it was a Beyonce and Jay-Z concert. I would say Jay-Z and Beyonce, but it was more of a Beyonce and Jay-Z concert, because Jay-Z, I think, is the best rapper, but he's not that much of a spectacle when it comes to his on-stage performance. But he's still a star because he makes himself memorable by his lyrics. It's not really his stage presence that makes him memorable. It's his lyrics, the way that he performs, and the stories that he tells, and the things that he says. So there's a great example. He doesn't have to be that type of performer. So when I say performing and putting on a show, it doesn't have to be you're this rambunctious person jumping all up and down and sweating through your clothes when you're doing your performance. It's just the way that you deliver in a distinctive style that nobody else can copy, and you cannot be confused with anyone else. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Beyonce was definitely the star of this live performance simply because of her style. Her performance carried such an energy that I remembered her more than I remember Jay-Z, and I went to the concert to see Jay-Z. I didn't go to the concert because I wanted to sing Beyonce songs, and again, she was singing songs I didn't even know the songs. But Jay-Z, I knew all his stuff, but I remembered Beyonce more because of her presence and the way that she performed and the way that she put on the show. She made I was already a fan of Beyonce, but she made a bigger fan out of me after I saw her perform. I said, damn, she is really a star when she gets out on that stage. Look at the last few presidential elections. Look at the last 3 elections. Not talking about 2020 election. That didn't happen yet when you're listening to this. But we got Obama versus McCain in 2008. Then we had Obama versus Romney in 2012. Then we had Trump versus Clinton in 2016. Right? Now answer me. Tell me this. Who was the better showman in each one of those campaigns? Obama versus McCain. Who had the better show? Who was the person that you remembered more? Who was the person who was more of a spectacle when they spoke and they got in front of an audience? Who was the person who was able to better pull on your emotional strings? Which person stood out more? Obama or McCain? Then Obama and Romney. Who stood out more? Who put on a better show? Trump versus Clinton. Who put on a better show? Who stood out more? Who was more memorable? Who was the better showman in each one of those elections? I think everyone can agree. Again, even if you didn't vote for the winner, you can agree that the better showman was the person who won. Do you think it's a coincidence that the better showman won each one of those elections? I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, people want to feel something. Unconsciously, if not consciously, they want to feel something. And the things that they feel, they remember. If you don't leave people feeling anything, they will forget you just as quickly as they came across you. When you make people feel in whatever way you choose and whatever way they choose, they will keep coming back. Let's recap today's class, which is you are in the show business. This is for all performers, athletes, speakers, salespeople, ballerinas, brand owners, singers, online influencers. If your work is consistently viewed by the people whose choices determine your success or failure, you are in show business. Let me tell you the 3 ways you put on a show. Number 1, show up. You cannot do your job and serve your business or have your business serve you if you are not there. Know where there is or create there and make sure you are there all the time. Point number 2, show and prove. This is business after all. And business, as I've told you many times here, is what? 2 things. Performance-based and results-based. You must perform. You work on your game so you can create an opportunity. You get the opportunity, you perform to produce results. When you produce results, you get the rewards, and then you work on your game again so you can do the same thing all over again. That's how you repeat your success. That is the entire process. Business is performance and result based, so you got to show and prove. Once you get your chance and people see you, now you got to prove that you can produce results. People do not pay for just knowing who you are. They pay when you can help them achieve a certain result. So you're in business, you need to know what result you're going to help people achieve, sell that result, and then prove it when you get your opportunity. And sometimes it may cost you to show and prove, or at least to show up somewhere so you can show and prove, but you should be willing to make that investment, and it will be worth it because you will produce a return if you already know you have the skill and the ability and the talent to actually produce a result. And point number 3, put on a show. Entertain people. Make a spectacle of what you do. Make yourself memorable. Pull on people's emotions. Stand out in a unique way such that you cannot be confused or lumped in with anyone else. People want to feel something. When you make people feel in whatever way you choose, they will continually and consistently and predictably keep coming back. Work on your game. Dre all day.